The graduation signifies for a new agent that they have reached their goal or their dream of being a special agent with the FBI.
And it was also really gratifying after what we've been through to be able to walk the stage. So
you've got great baseline training here at Quantico that everybody has, and once you get out here, that's where the real training happens. The OJT, on-the-job training. That's what I'm really looking forward to next.
What's up, guys? It's your boy Benny. Why do we do this channel? Well, to educate you in a world of psyops and lies. It is so important to actually have hard researched knowledge about the world around you, because everyone is trying to deceive you, and everyone is trying to make the America First movement look really, really bad. And that includes a lot of people who will try and act as though they're members of the movement or lie about the movement itself, and to try and manipulate the greater overall conversation about people who just really love America a lot and want to save this place. Now, this brings us to the group Patriot Front. What is the group Patriot Front? Well, they are a group of individuals who literally dress like FBI agents, who provide headlines like this for the corporate press. White supremacist group Patriot Front march on Washington, D.C. They provide images like this one with the Washington Monument in the background and the man marching towards the front of the camera menacingly. Yes, that's right. They also provide excellent fodder for people like Joe Biden, who gives a speech saying that white supremacy is the greatest threat to America, and as soon as he's done giving that speech, well, Patriot Front just miraculously shows up in our nation's capital, marching right along.
President Joe Biden, this is now the greatest terrorist threat the country now faces.
As the most dangerous terrorist threat to our homeland is white supremacy.
Soon after Biden's speech at Howard University, suddenly a group of white supremacists calling themselves the Patriot Front that supposedly support Trump went parading around Washington holding American flags and symbols for their own group.
Isn't that convenient? Isn't that really convenient? Joe Biden says white supremacy 3 times, and a white supremacist group just shows up right down the block from him. And more importantly, has a police escort. A police escort riding alongside of them, keeping media and press and journalists and anyone from asking them questions or figuring out who the hell these people are. Now, you can obviously tell here from the syntax of what I'm saying that I don't really buy that this group is some authentic group that sprung up out of whatever dark recesses of whatever heart or movement may have spawned such a thing. I want to state, obviously, that the Christian take on any type of racial or human supremacy is that all of it is evil. Doesn't matter if you're talking about black supremacy, Asian supremacy, Hispanic supremacy, white supremacy. There is no such thing as supremacy. When God creates man in his own image and all men are created equal according to our founding documents, well, there is no room, obviously, for racial supremacy in any of that. It's literally anti-Christian. So that's my stance on these things. But it's worth seeing the value and motility of something like this for a group of people in charge of our country who need racial strife. They need racial hate. They need to have some type of trauma and some type of chaos and some type of tragedy at hand in order to push a racialized narrative and scare people. And so marches like this, which have sort of a militant feel to them, that have like kind of the look at these guys with the cameras. Look at these guys. These guys walking around with the cameras. So weird. They have sort of like a, like a throwback to a Third Reich style march and look. Everyone's faces are covered. Everyone has the same shields. This has just sort of like a Munich style feel to it. It just doesn't seem authentic. Now, you can go through the people, like Ford Fisher here, who has a spectacular account, and he catalogs a lot of stuff like this, and you can see the footage, and it just, quite frankly, doesn't look organic. But more importantly, the thing that is taken away from footage like this, for someone like me, who's lived in Washington, D.C. for a very long time, is why are the cops protecting this? I've never seen a march so protected by the police force in Washington, D.C. So cataloged and filmed and so aggressive. There's a reason why people say these guys are feds, is because this was actually during Police Week, National Police Week. The cops were forced to stand there and watch the police march effectively with the Patriot Front group, escorting them throughout the city and then blocking anyone from even following them down into a metro train. This is what I think is the most egregious in all of this footage, is that these guys were allowed their own private metro ride out of the city. Who the hell is coordinating this? Look at the police officers step aside while this group is given their own metro car, metro being the subway system in Washington, D.C., and then no one else is allowed onto the metro car. I guess you could make the argument that they're trying to stop people from maybe attacking them or them attacking other people, perhaps. That would be the argument here. But why then are they a protected class? I mean, again, this is the look of a protected class of people. I've never seen this ever happen before. Look at them go down in the metro system. This is a public, Judiciary Square metro station is a public metro station that is paid for by the taxpayers in D.C., and the police are preventing anyone else from getting on the train. Well, why the hell would that be? Dear feds, at least change the uniform. Yeah. People making fun of this, saying, what's with the coordination here? Around 150 to 200 individuals affiliated with the Patriot Front group now putting their shields and flags into a U-Haul van as they march around Washington, D.C. So they're allowed to organize and to do this in an orderly fashion. Rent U-Hauls, put the stuff away, and do it all with a police escort. It makes a lot of people scratch their heads and say, huh? No politician supports Patriot Front, so the media is beating a dead fed horse. Literally no one on the right thinks they're legit. Here police, not known for hiding protesters' identity or protecting neo-Nazis, escort them to the subway. No one is allowed to follow. Why is that? Well, Joe Rogan has questions, along with me. Joe Rogan appears to suggest that all of these people are indeed feds.
Guys, where's the fat people? How come they're all wearing the same clothes? Do that again. What the f*** is this? Have you ever seen anything that looks more like feds? Tell me that doesn't look like feds. Right?
It's like the 101st Airborne.
Bro, look at this. These guys are all runners. These guys look like they just got out of buds.
I mean, look.
The f*** out of here. Look at this. The f*** out of here.
So BUDS, by the way, is a Navy SEAL training. So Joe Rogan is alluding to the fact that these people may be trained by our federal government or military.
How do they all have, like, uniformed outfits on? They have the same color pants, for the most part. Very little variation. They have tan or brown pants, dark blue shirts with a fucking stupid flag on it. This asshole's got a drum! Back that up! Look at the fucking drum! Are you Paul Revere? What the f*** are you doing with that drum? He's walking around with a band drum.
It's
like
white
a high
power
school
drum line.
This is so stupid it hurts my feelings. They have the same f***ing size flags, the same white coloring on their face, the same tan hats on. Get the f*** out of here.
And why are they wearing masks, by the way?
Because they're cowards.
Right.
Or they're feds.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or they're feds. Look at the face. Now, there's a lot of evidence actually to suggest that maybe the group itself was not a federal property, but has been totally and completely overtaken by the feds. For instance, here is some footage of a man recognizing one of the feds inside of the Patriot Front movement, and then the man who's apparently a part of this white supremacist group confiscates his phone. Is that something that you're supposed to do normally? Check out this video.
Oh, so you're videotaping? Did you just take my phone.
You're videotaping us? That's not acceptable.
This is a public place.
You're trying to get us in trouble, sir.
I need a cop.
Go find one. I'm deleting the video.
No,
Nope.
you're not going to touch my phone.
You're not taking a video of us. I pull
Look,
my
dude,
mask down.
I recognize you.
Yeah, I know you do.
So give me my phone.
I'm deleting the video.
I recognize you. What's that about? What's that about? Someone in Washington, D.C. recognizing one of the guys marching. I thought this group was based out of Texas or something, or Idaho. And why is that man speaking in a manner that sort of reminds you of a federal officer? Sir, I'm going to do this. I'm going to delete that. What the hell is this all about? Again, you can watch this march. You can listen to the drum. You can see the military coordination to all of it, the drumming, and the police escorts, and you can say something's off. It just doesn't seem right. You watch them go into the subway and get their own subway car. Nothing seems to make any sense. Were they all just allowed on for free onto the subway? I've never seen anything like this. I've seen marches every single day of the week in Washington, D.C. for the better part of my time there, which was 15 years living in Washington, D.C., right on Capitol Hill. And you'll never see anything like that. The protectionism. So what's going on with this group when they try and gather in different places around the country? Well, one time in June of 2022, the so-called Patriot Front group gathered in the state of Idaho and tried to stage a march. And they were arrested on suspicion of trying to cause a riot or a disturbance. And these members were arrested, and then nothing happened. It's very curious. On June 11, 2022, a U-Haul full of mass Patriot Front members pulled over in Coeur d'Alene, Idaho. 31 members were arrested. Not one of them were carrying, and one of them was carrying a megaphone with the FBI marked on it. You can see that right here, a megaphone with an FBI insignia, along with this guy. I mean, look at the haircut. This is speculation here, but look at the haircut. Oh, look at the training. Does this guy look like a Fed to you? It sure as hell does to me. They were arrested in the same outfits that they were wearing in Washington, D.C. today. So you can see, of course, in the original videos. Now, these arrests led to these mugshots in Idaho for the arrest of these individuals. And a lot of, a lot of accounts have a lot of different takes on this. In lieu of doing humanity a favor by dropping Moabs on the Truth, Patriot Front, I find the emerging evidence completely inorganic group having fairly deep ties to Serbia and Ukraine Azov battalion riveting, but not surprising. I expect drop like this will end the charade once and for all. So what are they saying here? And this is a thread I'll get to in just a moment. They're saying that this group is effectively a group that is funded by the United States government, but it's funded by the United States government through the Azov battalion in Ukraine, which is a neo-Nazi group in Ukraine that gets the American dollar funding it to fight the Russians. That's effectively what they're saying. So that's why you see Azov, FBI informant, stuff like that all throughout here. I mean, the memes are pretty great because Fed, Spider-Man, Patriot Front. Here's the thing, I know a lot of Anons, and they know a ton more, but no one knows any of these people. And that's something that you see sort of across, sort of something you see across the internet here. Here's Elijah Schaffer. I'm well connected with the right wing. Never heard anyone associated with Patriot Front. I know people in niche politics, niche corners of the internet, especially fringe and radical fundamentalist groups from my time as a field reporter. Yet, this is the one group I draw a blank. How? I'm not saying the accusation that everyone's a Fed, but for a group with such a high prolific profile with mainstream media coverage, I'm confused. The reason I'm confused is that I've never seen Antifa protest these guys. What's that all about? Antifa shows up to protest all over the place. There's always these Antifa black bloc people. Where the hell are they? Why isn't Antifa protesting this group? This group does marches all the time. They go out. Here's their mugshot of their leader. This guy's name is Thomas Rousseau. He is the Patriot Front leader. This account is calling him an FBI informant. Does this guy look like a snitch to you? Stay away, he says. Well, all right. Here's sort of the clips of his mugshots and so on. And he was at the Charlottesville march. CBS News talking about him being arrested. This Thomas Rousseau guy, who is the founder of the group, according to the reporting. Among those booked in the jail for misdemeanor charges of conspiracy to riot was Thomas Rousseau of Grapevine, Texas, who's been identified by the Southern Poverty Law Center as a 23-year-old who founded the group after the Unite the Right rally in Charlottesville. Among those arrested was Mitchell Wagner of Missouri, who's previously charged with defacing a mural. Other members of the group arrested came from other states like Texas, Michigan, Illinois, Washington, Oregon, Utah, Colorado, South Dakota, Wyoming, Virginia, and Arkansas. The group was scheduled to be arraigned on Monday. Spokesperson for the sheriff said that all 31 men were out on bond. Who paid the bond? Who paid for them to go there? Where's the money coming from? White supremacist busted over Patriot riot turned to fascism at student paper before leading Vanguard America. This is more on the Thomas Rousseau character, the self-declared leader of the alt-right. So there you go. Again, according to the Wikipedia here, this group has 200 total members. The Patriot Front group, 200 members, huh? And they made up over 80% of all reported incidents involving distribution of racist, anti-Semitic, and other hateful propaganda in the United States. Huh. Okay. Well, that seems convenient to a narrative. Again, I'm just presenting to you the facts. But I gotta tell you, something glows here. Something doesn't seem right. The hell they get the money for these shields and these face masks and flying all over the country? Where do they get the organization for this? Where are they getting the bags of cash that it takes to fly people from Texas, Arkansas, Alabama, and all these other places? Woke Societies has a thread here. I don't know exactly who runs this account. I think it's interesting. I follow it. And I'm gonna spare you the entire thread, but effectively it's like a 50-tweet thread that goes to one conclusion, which is that the American government funds the Patriot Front. How do they do that? They fund the Patriot Front through the funding of the war in Ukraine. Now, it is well documented through our corporate press that there is neo-Nazi groups that operate and fight wars on behalf of Ukraine. Now, what this account posits is that the money that flows into Ukraine is organized by various leaders of these groups, various leaders of these right-wing and neo-Nazi groups in Kyiv, and then it is funneled into the outsourcing and outreach and recruitment of people in America. And so when these individuals got arrested, the police said that they had active informants inside of the group and were tipped off. Everyone immediately said that they were FBI. This account goes back and forth as to how that might or might not be true. But more importantly, it goes into how the FBI has case files on this group, and that how effectively this group operates as the useful idiots for a regime that must have some type of tragedy or must have some type of paranoid event to push voters into being scared about white supremacy in America or organized groups like this. With the, with imagery. With imagery that's going to like startle people. For me, it seems too cute by half. For me, I'm like Joe Rogan, man. I just call BS on all this. Sure, there might be some dinguses inside of this group that like really believe in what's being pushed for them. I think that this is too useful to those in power, and that there is absolutely some type of federal element here. I don't have any evidence as to how much. People are saying that the leader of the group is a federal informant. I'm just saying it ain't normal for a virtually all-black police force to give a white nationalist group, and they've done this like 3 times, a march through Washington, D.C. and their own Metro car, to let them remain masked. Even when they're being arrested, you're allowed to remain masked. None of it squares. None of it seems to make sense. There seems to be protectionism among a group that has an FBI bullhorn when they're being arrested in Idaho. And more importantly, where's the money come from? Does the money actually come from our government? Does it come through maybe Ukraine? That's what some people are saying. That our funding of the war in Ukraine is funding extremism here in America. That wouldn't be the first or last time that dumbass American policies boomerang on the people who are instituting them. But as far as I can tell here, ladies and gentlemen, this is a prop for the media. It's a group that has 200 members. Probably half of them are feds, if I were to guess. And it is being used as a prop so that Joe Biden can go out and say, white supremacy is the worst thing in America. It's the most terrifying thing in America. And oh, look, here's a white supremacist group marching through the city right when I say that. Again, a little too convenient, and I am a skeptic in my soul. Ladies and gentlemen, that's my thoughts. Let me know yours in the comment section. It's your boy Benny. Like, share, and subscribe. And don't be a member of the Patriot Front, because they're all feds. See ya.